only pick on small people, you coward!
There's a lot more than what mainstream's putting out there. I refuse to talk to mainstream media.
I apologize if
sorry for knocking your phone out of your
actually,
face. You guys just united the country. Oh my god.
They're just grabbing the video and creating a narrative that's not there.
Over critical thinking will find themselves believing one of two versions of reality.
92.1. 92.1.
Recording. All right, welcome to the 91 podcast. My name is Kerry Hayes. I'm the creator of the 90 to 1 program. If you're new here, the 90 to 1 program is something I developed to help entrepreneurs decouple from social media and focus on building a legitimate business. If you want to learn more about that, check the link in the description. If you're a subscriber already, thanks for returning, and I appreciate your support. Today we got a guest that I'm really super excited about. She goes by Right Side R3Bel on YouTube and Instagram. Her handles will be listed in the description as well. It's good to have you.
Good to be here.
Nice. So I don't know if I explained to you what the 90 to 1 program is, but part of it is you detach from social media for 90 days. So right before I started the program, I heard about you from JD DeLay's channel, and I saw a couple of clips online, and then I was following you for a minute, and then I started the program, so I'm not really exactly sure what's going on. But I did see the incident with the Antifa dude that knocked the phone out of your hand. And I'm going to cut it in right here, but it was badass.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Shotgun raised from the woods to the plate. Ain't never went hungry, ain't never too late to come around here, son, running your mouth.
So it was actually a girl, and a lot of people think I'm an elderly woman, and I'm 4 feet. And so I've seen multiple things. They think I'm elderly. They think I'm 4 feet. There's a lot of stuff, but they're just grabbing the video and creating a narrative that's not there. It was a female, and I'm 5'2". I'm not elderly. I don't think. I'm only 26.
Yeah, I'm elderly compared to you. No, but I as much as I tried to look into you online, because JD was doing a live and he was talking about you, and so I went and checked you out, and I was like, oh, this, like, she's like super just emerging on the scene. There's not really a lot to find about you, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to come on, put a face to the name, like, where are you from, what on earth, like, put you in that place in that time for that to happen?
So I'm actually from Oregon. I'm not from Portland, but I'm from Oregon. And I think when Charlie Kirk got shot, it just awakened a lot of people. And, at first, 6 weeks ago, I came out here to support because I'm a veteran myself. So I came out here to support federal agents. Once getting out here, it's like I felt this drive. I was starting to see all this messed up stuff that's happening here between Antifa, between the corruption in Portland PD. There's just a lot of stuff that people are not seeing on the mainstream media. So I'm a Christian conservative. And so, from that first moment of me getting out here, before that, since Charlie Kirk, it's like I felt in my heart I'm supposed to do something. I'm supposed to have a voice. Getting out here, it's like it just shot through me, like I'm supposed to do something here. So it's literally walking a invisible path, not knowing where I'm going, but knowing I'm supposed to be doing something. And so without people like us and Nick Sorter coming, Nick Shirley, Cam Higbee, JD, they all started coming because a lot of the small ones like Honey Badger, Katie Davis Court, Ryan, a lot of small ones were shedding light on this place, showing what's actually happening here. And, you know, the amount of messed up stuff I've seen from Portland PD is insane. I've never seen anything like it. And then how violent Antifa gets, you know, 5 weeks of dealing with that, that's what that fight led to.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
So you were down there like on the front line of that thing for 5 weeks?
Yeah, and I always turned my cheek whenever they harassed me. I got maced by them. They tried to hit me with their car. Yeah, it's been a rough 5 weeks from that point, but I've been here for like 6 weeks. Yeah.
That's so wild. So, yeah, and I'll be cutting in clips here, like as you talk about stuff, just to give people context that don't know. But yeah, like for those that haven't been following it, Antifa was occupying this area in Portland for, what was it, like 130 days or something crazy like that?
Yeah, 130, 140 days.
Yeah, so all these families and people living in apartments and houses near there had to deal with this fucking horrendous nonsense for like nearly half a year. That's it's crazy. So you said you're former military?
Yes, I am.
Do you want to talk about that at all, or is there?
Yeah, that's fine. So I joined at 17. My parents had to, you know, it was my dad's idea, like, hey, go into the military. He's expecting me to be a medic or something, desk job. I come back home, I'm like, this is the job I got. They just opened up 12 Bravo to females. And for people who don't know what a 12 Bravo is, that's a combat engineer. So you work with demolition, you set up demolition, you actually go out before infantry does. You set mines, you take out mines, you build bridges. So here I am, 5'2", his first daughter. Hey, Dad, I'm going to go be a combat engineer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was in for 4 years. I actually got injured and medically retired out, which I was in my second contract at that time, but I medically retired out.
Yeah. I don't know what your dad must have been going through, because my daughter is 7, and I can't imagine. Like, I would.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think that was the second time I've ever seen my dad cry in my life when I was leaving.
Yeah, my youngest boy talks about joining the military too, and like, I don't know. Something in me says I should have joined the military just for the discipline when I was younger. But then when I think about my kids doing it, first of all, like, I don't know, I've known people that did tours in Iraq and stuff, and them, you know, they're very patriotic people, and they're like very zealous and good Americans. But like, they'd come back and they'd say, you know, when we first got there, I understood what I was there to do, and then by the time I got back, I didn't know what the hell we were doing there anymore.
Yeah,
and that bothers me.
Yeah, see, I went overseas to Korea, and it was more of a rotation. Nothing rough happened up there, but it was before Trump and Kim Jong-un shook hands. So we were always on guard and 10 miles off the border. So that's the closest to what I got. But, you know, the military trains you to not freak out in those types of situations, which I'm glad, because without the military, I wouldn't be who I am today. So when Chandler, the Antifa leader, was choking me,
And you
Sorry about
nice.
no,
Hey,
I understand you were trying to break it up. You had her by the throat, though.
I know. It's like a reflex to, like, just the way that I fight. I always want to be myself. It's like to restrain people. It's the easiest way.
It's just like the constant.
And you understand why?
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have.
you know, I didn't automatically freak out. I knew I had patriots there who were actively trying to get him off me, but I was starting to lose conscious. But I wasn't worried. I started trying to get him off of me, but I wasn't worried. I knew who was around me.
A pretty good idea of kind of who you are and like what you are by your reaction time and your situational awareness. just from seeing that clip, I was like, this is not the first time she's had to do something like this. Like, the phone gets knocked out of your hand and instantly, boom! I'm probably going to keep calling that person a dude because I don't know why. I just assume it's a dude that you got into a fight with. But yeah, I want to touch on something, and it's kind of the reason why I developed this program. I think that our algorithms and our mobile devices have become sort of like a weapon against us in a lot of ways. Do you think what we're seeing in these occupations, like these protests and stuff, do you think, I mean, obviously a lot of people say that they're like Soros funded, like they're getting funding to do this kind of stuff, but do you think a lot of this ideology is the product of social media manipulation, propaganda, that kind of stuff? Because to me, it seems like most people can get behind the idea of, like, maybe we don't agree on some things, but where we all draw the line is cruelty. Like, just cruelty to human beings in general, cruelty to children for sure is off the table. Like, hard line, we're not going to deal with that. And I think that we can all unite around that front. But what do you think has us so divided as a country? Do you think it's a lot of like internet shit, or do you think there's something real there?
So I think a lot of it is internet stuff. I do. Pretty much, a lot of us who are shining a light on this, we use our phones, right? We have our own platforms and we use our phones to post them. So I'm a conservative. So other side, they use their phones too. Well, they get in these, and a lot of these are younger people. Like, you see a lot of the younger people there. I do see elderly people there, but it's mostly younger people. So these younger kids are growing up, looking at all this stuff like, oh, this is what I want to believe. I'm seeing this is what I want to believe. I've seen kids grow up being like, oh, I'm they, them. As they hit an older age, they're like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm me. And so I think it's a lot to do with the new trend, what's out there, what social media is putting off as the new cool. And so I really, social media has its cons, it has its pros, but I think it's getting to our kids.
Yeah.
Social media was still like new, coming out with stuff when I was growing up, and it's just astonishing how much it brainwashes younger kids, and that's why I don't want my kid to have a phone till he's like in his teens.
Yeah, I've got 3 kids, and unfortunately they're all kind of glued to their iPads and stuff a lot of the time, and I try to limit it. But it's hard. It does get hard sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially growing up with it and knowing that you have it. It's there.
Yeah. I think something that's really important about, and you've mentioned a couple times that you're a Christian conservative, and I share those values. And not to say that like everybody's got to be Christian. Of course, we kind of got to plant those seeds and try to win souls, as Christians. I just think that people need to find something to believe in that has deep roots. Mm-hmm. Whatever, I hope it's Christianity because I believe that's the truth. But I think a lot of what people quote unquote believe these days is something that they put on. It's something that's handed to them, and it's not something that comes from their parents or some deep personal experience with anything. It's very vapid, and that's dangerous because it's like getting a tattoo on your face, especially a lot of these kids going through operations and things, and then after they've gone through puberty realizing that this was put on me, I was convinced to do this, and now I'm stuck with this result.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I agree with that. I do think Christianity is, there's been miracles in my life where I can't believe in anything else. God is my Lord and Savior. And, without God in my life, I wouldn't be who I am. Just this summer, I have a personal situation going on. And this summer, it was miracle after miracle after miracle. Just him lining up my path for me and me seeing it firsthand, my parents seeing it firsthand. And a lot of the things that God had done in my life this summer left especially me and my mom speechless. Like, there were moments where we're just like mouth dropped, like, this isn't coincidental. This is God. And so, I think growing up, a lot of people were Christians, and, throughout time it just kind of faded. But after Charlie Kirk, it really got brought up again. And I'm seeing just the patriots out here at the ICE protest. I'm seeing so many young kids. Like, a lot of us started grouping together to go to church on Sunday. And so, we all pray every time, like, we do something, travel somewhere, have a big night. We all get in a circle and we pray. Like, we went to Seattle this weekend, and before we left to go cover what we were going to cover, we prayed, and we prayed over our safety and everything, and we were safe the whole night. And so it's just, Christianity, it's more than just a religion. It's, you watch these miracles happen, you find your heart, you find your path in life. It's truly, I don't know where I'd be without it.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting that you put it that way, because I've had my ups and downs in the past couple of years too, and like, I got baptized in January of 2024, and I took that entire year to just like isolate and sort of try to purify myself, like find my innocence again or whatever it was. And it was the year of my life that was the most jam-packed with like that type of thing, where I'm reaching out to my boy and I'm like, dude, you won't believe what just happened. This has to be God. There is like evidence of his presence speaking all through my life all the time. And then there's those times where you go through it and you don't have anybody to reach out to and tell about it, or you're the only one seeing it, and you're just, which is equally awesome, but it's like, it just like, I don't know, my grandma was the Christian one in my family. When she passed, I just kind of like fell apart, and that's what brought me back was Christ.
It's funny you say that, because it's like, I always believed in Christ, grew up believing in Christ. I strayed away, party life for a few years, went back into it heavy, like year and a half, 2 years ago, got rebaptized this year. But when I started getting back into it, I was going through something really hard, and, Christ carried me through that. But there was a moment where I'm like, I'm ready for God to take me home. I called my mom. I'm like, I was crying on the freeway. I'm like, I'm ready for God to take me home. I can't do this anymore. I don't have the strength without him. And I was in so much pain. And so after my mom calmed me down and got off the phone, I had my Christian playlist on shuffle. It could have shuffled through any of 200 songs. And it was at the end of a song, and the next song that came on after I got off the phone with my mom, within 30 seconds, I kid you not, God's not done with you. And I had to pull off, and I like dropped to my knees and I started crying. And I'm like, I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to my mom, like, Mom, like, I don't know what I was thinking. I know he has me. And it completely changed my mood.
I love that. And I think I've told this story on another podcast before, but when my grandma passed, she was like the one that was always interceding on all of our behalfs. She was the only one that prayed in the entire family. I don't think I'd ever said a prayer out loud before. And I was like just deep in the bottle. I was drinking every single day and like, you know, just trying to feel something, you know. And I'm sitting at the bar in my kitchen, and I just like kind of had this epiphany, like something has to change. I have to turn this around somehow. And I just felt completely helpless. And I was like, you know, maybe I'll just try to pray and see what happens. And the only prayer I had memorized was the serenity prayer that I remember from AA when I was a teenager. So like I put my head down on the counter and I just started saying the serenity prayer over and over and over again. Like I must have said it like 100 times. And I started thinking about the last time I saw my grandma. And it was me, my daughter, and we're in, like, she was in hospice. It was a few days before she passed. And we come in there to see her, and she had dementia, so she was like very out of it, but she like held my hand and held my daughter's hand, and she was praying with us. Just like super weak voice. Like you could barely hear what she was saying. And then back to when I was praying, I was just saying this prayer over and over and over again until my voice started to crack, and I swear it sounded like her voice coming out of my mouth. And like, I just couldn't shake that. It was like that electric feeling that goes through you, like as if God is powering the room you're in. And that was like my first real experience where I was okay, God is real. And from that point forward, it wasn't like right away. I didn't like stop drinking that day. I didn't stop being a piece of shit that day. But
it was a work in progress.
Yeah, and like I just had this feeling that I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop like talking to all these different girls today. And I stopped that. And then like a week went by, and I was thinking, oh, this feels like I'm doing the right thing. Okay, so I'm gonna slow down on the drinking today. And then over a period of 6 months or so, I had completely stopped doing all these like detrimental things that were going on in my life. And then a month after that, I got baptized.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
When you get around Christians, you hear these like wonderful stories, and I think those are a testament to the fact that it's real, you know?
They definitely are. And you know, it's one of the things that I try to do, because I do try to make a platform for myself, obviously, but I don't do it, I do it being myself. So the whole incident with Chandler's girlfriend, that was my reaction. That was my reaction. I had 5 weeks worth of anger built up. But as a Christian, I accepted their apology. And we've never seen Antifa come and apologize for something they caused before. So it was amazing watching them come apologize to me. So it's like, did I like knock some sense into her? But then I started seeing this algorithm of just messages flooding through, like, my daughter looks up to you. You stood your ground against people who were bullying you, and she looks up to you. And like just hundreds of messages like, I look up to you, like just women all over. You're my role model. I look up to you. I sent this to my daughter. I want her to have a ground like you. And so it's like, it sent a message out, like, you know, I wasn't even attempting to send out, but I was just being me. I was getting bullied. I got hit. My phone got striked out of my hand, and she like kind of pushed me, shoulder checked me a little bit. I just stood up for myself. But it's like, I didn't realize this message would go out to these people. So now I have all these people following me, but I do not let, like, every so often I'll post a verse, and I do not let it, you know, I don't let it take over that I am a Christian. I accepted their apology because I am a Christian. I don't have hate in my heart. I don't want to live with hate. As a Christian, I will forgive them. I could obviously fight someone and then be laughing with them 30 minutes later. Because, you know, I just, as a Christian, I don't like living negatively. I don't have hate in my heart. I'm always happy.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think this is great that you're, you know, getting out and doing podcasts and talking about it, because I mean, I didn't have to talk to you to be able to know that, like, yeah, you're a fierce person that can go there, and you can be a weapon if you're pushed to that point. But behind that, there's a girl with empathy and compassion, and you really care about people. And, you know, I think that's important for people to see, so they don't, you know, you're not just this girl that goes out and beats the shit out of people.
Yeah, no, and that's, you know, I made a post about it, and I even put in the post, as a Christian, I did ask God for forgiveness for that, because I know that's probably not what God would have done, but none of us know God's plan. Maybe God intended for that to happen for something down the road, for me to get out there for something down the road, for me to put an image or a message to people. You know, God's plan is God's plan, but I was asking for forgiveness for that, because I know that was not the Christian in me. I know that hatred and that anger, it was just, you know, that's not me, but I had to stand my
God
ground.
gave you these hands for a reason. You know what I mean? Okay? So
Yeah.
if you have to defend yourself, that's your God-given right. Like, there's a reason why
Exactly.
there's, you know, stand your ground laws in certain places and stuff. Like, you're supposed to be able to defend yourself in that kind of situation. But yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely exactly put that in my ex post too. I'm like, you know, it's my God-given right to, like, so I said it in a different way. I said, if you have every right to burn, I said, if you have a right to burn my flag, then I have every God-given right to beat your ass. So I put that in a post, but trying to make a joke out of it. But so I said exactly what you just did.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I think you're going to build a really awesome platform, and I think you're going to reach a lot of people, and I really hope that you do. I don't know if you fully, a lot of times people get into this kind of stuff and they don't fully know what it's going to be. And it's obviously really important to just start things if you have the conviction to do it. You're like, I don't know why, but I need to whip my phone out and just start recording this. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like I need to do it. I think that, like, you're building a really cool community around yourself, and it's going to become something awesome. But yeah, that being said, I think, yeah, if you've got anything you want to shout out, anything that's coming up, that you want me to link in the description or anything, or just anything you want people to know about you, go ahead.
Ooh, on the spot. Honestly, you know, I'm out here doing what I feel my heart is guiding me to. I don't come out here and antagonize, you know. She came up to me afterwards and she apologized, and she's like, you are not the person that I ever wanted to hit. You're always quiet over here. You never antagonize us. But when I slapped your phone out of your hand, I knew I messed up. That's what she said to me. So I'm not out here antagonizing, but I will stand my ground. And, you know, I hope everybody has a voice. I hope everybody stands their ground. What we see in today's world, there's so much corruption, so much evilness in this world. Honestly, I encourage everybody to look into Christ, get that relationship with Christ, but I will never shove it down someone's throat. So it's truly, yeah, it's truly amazing. I mean, if you're a Christian, then, you know, most Christians I've met, you know, they care about humanity. They have a good, pure heart, you know, and that I think everybody needs that in today's world. There's so much evilness and cruelty in today's world, that, you know, you need those pure heart people. You know, I just kind of represented that. I got in a fight, I stood my ground, and 30 minutes later she came up and apologized, and I let her apologize, you know.
I apologize if
Sorry for knocking your phone out of your face.
Oh, and here's them
Very heated moment.
making up.
You guys just united the country. Oh my god.
I was just
Crazy stuff,
I was
man.
going after you guys.
Well,
And you probably would have won. You guys got my military bolo. What was the thought process in that? You're right. Yeah.
Honestly, I really should have. Wow. It was just the phone.
I wasn't even like videotaping you. I was videotaping the situation.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate
I am sorry. And you won. You won.
Wow.
Because I don't live with hate in my heart, and I encourage everyone to live that way. You know.
Just Christianity, people that believe in Jesus, I think we look up for validation. And I think it makes all relationships with everybody that much easier. Because, yeah, we are able to forgive. And I think we all need a little bit of that in this time, where we can look at each other and go, dude, we don't agree on much, but, we shouldn't be hurting each other, killing each other.
Yep.
That's pretty basic,
Yeah, and like Charlie Kirk said, when the talking stops, the violence happens. And I posted a video on my ex account showing that, I had some really genuine conversations over there. It's not all bad, but there is a lot of bad stuff happening there, which there are so many people I tag in all the time on my ex account that are covering this and what's happening here. It's, there's a lot more than what mainstream's putting out there. And it's, I refuse to talk to mainstream media. I refuse to. That's why I will only go on podcasts and small shows. I'll never go to mainstream. They don't put everything out there.
Exactly. And I'm sure they would love to have you as they would anybody that they could use to get ratings up or whatever it is. But they're bad faith actors for sure. It's just been proven time and time again. So if you can find voices to help amplify your message, and they have your best interest at heart, best to go that way. And you can reach more people on the internet anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been fun. I'm gonna keep. Like I said, I'm not really on social media right now, so I can't. Like, people will check things and tell me things, and people try to send me reels and stuff all the time, and I'm like, dude, I can't even click on that right now. I don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, we should definitely do this again. Maybe next time, if we're in the same city or something, we can get one in studio.
I would love that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah. If there's nothing else you wanna plug or anything.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, it was good talking to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.